I'm going to show you how to use a digital multimeter. Full basics on how to use a digital multimeter. First, I'm going to show you how to use every single thing on this multimeter perfectly without any issues. So, we're going to first start with checking AC and DC voltages. Then after that, I'm going to show you how to check capacitors, resistors, MOSFETs, transistors, amperage, ampere, diode test, continuity test, and so on, milliamps, and so on this digital multimeter. So let's start with the diode test. The diode test and the continuity test. To check a continuity test, you need to set your probe to this icon, which shows like an alarm sign and diode sign. So that is how you can check your diodes. And for diodes have polarities. The black side is the negative and the other red side is the positive. So if I connect my probe now, you can see it reads a certain value, which is 714. Oh, sorry, which is 714, 703. Let's check another diode. Another diode, and to check it has polarity again. This side is the negative and the other side is the positive. If I probe it, you can see it gives me 490. And to check if an LED light is working, you just have to connect the probes, and if the lights turn on, you know that your LED light is working perfectly. So moving on is the continuity test, which I'll use a switch for that. I connect my probes into the switch terminal, and if I switch it on, if this red light turns on, that means your switch is working perfectly. As you can see, it turns on immediately and the probes are connected. If I switch it off, that means there is no current flowing, and if I switch it on, you see the current start flowing. So moving on is the resistors check. To check a resistor, you just need to connect it to the resistor's position and check it. Resistors don't have polarity, so you can connect positive and negative anywhere. You just set it to a higher value. This resistor is a 220 ohms resistor, and this one is a 1 kilo ohm resistor. To check it, you know it's 1 kilo ohm, so you set it to 2 kilo ohms, which is higher than what you want to check. See, it gives us 986, which is good. That means my resistor is working. Moving on is to the DC or direct voltage, which I am going to check an AA battery first. This is an AA battery which is rated for 1.5 volts. So if you want to test 1.5 volts, you have to set it to 2 volts. This sign is for direct current and this is for alternating current. Let's probe it and see. This is 2.16 for a AA battery. I have overcharged it, so it has exceeded the rated value for it. I'm going to check one more DC voltage. This is a 19 volt direct current or a 20 volt direct current, which gives me 20 amps. See, it's 19 point, it's 19.4, 19.08 volts DC. So that is all for direct current. Now moving on is to AC current. Just set your multimeter to the AC position and probe an AC line, which this is an AC line, is an AC circuit. Please, if you want to check an AC voltage, do not hold the probes and insert it. Distance your hand to this level. Now I can probe the AC. You can see I have gotten 232 volts AC on this socket. So capacitors check. Want to check about capacitor? Let's look at the rating of your capacitor, which I got here is a 35 volt, 50 volt, 1000 units. Capacitors check does not have any polarity whatsoever, so you can just connect it here. Connect it to 200 UF and I probe across the both terminal. See, it's giving me that it's 50 volts capacitor. My multimeter is faulty on, you'll have seen a better value that it's a 50 volts. Okay, it can take in 56 volts. The highest is 56 volts. Moving on is to the ampere. If you want to check ampere, you have to change your just the positive probe to 20 amps, and I am going to use my bench power supply to test the ampere of this, like I have shown you before. If you want to check ampere, you don't necessarily put your probe too much on the power supply, because you don't know, like this power supply is 10 amps. Sure, it's 10 amps. As you can see, it's making a spark, and if I hold it, you can see it's making 9 amps. It's 10 amps. Bye.